Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're turning on our fog lights on a misty Arabian morning so that we can see MbL playing as the red Bohemians take on Sitaux playing as the blue Celts. Now as the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to go up to Feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the respective civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Bohemians are a civ that pushes its players towards gunpowder units by making the chemistry upgrade and hand cannoneers available in Castle Age and having access to an upgrade that actually increases the speed of all gunpowder units. Now, Bohemians are not just a one-trick hand cannoneer pony, they also have two other very powerful, unique gunpowder units at their disposal. The first one is the Hussite Wagon, an incredibly tanky, powerful siege unit, often referred to as the mobile wall. Now, if we're lucky enough to see one or two or even more of them, you'll see exactly why they're called the mobile wall. They protect any units behind them by cutting enemy projectile damage in half. The second very powerful gunpowder unit available to the Bohemians is the Haufnitze, or the howitzer. Think of this as an upgraded version of the bombard cannon with more HP, better armor, higher damage, wider blast radius, and a massive attack bonus against buildings. I believe it's 250. Now, to provide backup for these expensive, often slow-moving gunpowder units, Bohemian Spearman line units deal 25% extra bonus damage, and you can completely evolve and upgrade your monk line so that all the gold cost of monks and monk upgrades is replaced with food. Now, what that does in the late game is turn Bohemian monks into trash units, which is incredibly cool. Now, as every player knows, gunpowder units are incredibly expensive, so to help pay for them, universities and blacksmiths cost less wood, mining camp upgrades are free, markets work 80% faster, and villagers are much harder to raid because they benefit from two monk upgrades that make them move faster and have more HP. Now, taking on this gunpowder Goliath, we have Sitaux playing as the blue Celts, a civilization built around the need for speed. Their lumberjacks work faster, which is fantastic because you're going to need a lot of wood for the focus of the Celts, which is the siege unit. Their siege workshops work faster, their siege units fire faster, and all siege workshop units can be upgraded to get even more HP, 40% more. Now, coming back to the need for speed, Celtic infantry move faster than normal starting in Feudal Age. Their castles and towers can be upgraded to fire 25% faster, and their unique unit is the Woad Raider, the second fastest infantry unit in the game after some elite Eagle warriors with squires. And not only is it incredibly fast, but it's actually quite powerful. It comes with a strong attack and a good amount of HP. Now, in order to support a very hungry Celtic warrior population, Celts can convert enemy sheep and steal them, even if those sheep, those herdables, are standing next to your units. Let's take a look at that bonus in action right now. Oh, manages to tickle it with a little blue bandana before it comes back into MbL's fold. So overall, I'm pretty excited to see these two civilizations. The Celtic archery line is not the greatest at doing really anything, and so I wonder if our Celt player will have a difficult time handling any kind of gunpowder units. That being said, I mean, if you know Celts, if you know Age of Empires, you know that their siege is top notch. So if there's any civ whose siege units can handle Bohemian gunpowder, it's the Celts. Now, it might also be the Mongols, it might also be a few other ones, but definitely the Celts. So I'm very excited to see which direction this game goes. Will we see the players play to their civ strengths and features, or will we see a standard game, a non-standard game? I have no clue. Let's let the players speak for themselves. In the meantime, let's take a look at their bases. Our Celtic player, very open on the western portion of his base, despite a small clump of trees over here. North can be easily walled off. East, a bit of a construction project here. So this is going to require a lot of wood if Sitaux wants to wall off his base. Gold pile nice and safe in the back, although primary stone pile a little bit exposed. Looks like it's a bit outside the perimeter of his settlement here. MbL, on the other hand, his secondary and tertiary gold very far outside, but his primary also. I like this location on a hill. He should definitely put a structure here, maybe to block his opponent from taking the high ground on a hill. Primary stone in the back. In terms of walling off, oh, what an not a pretty wall off here. Did he see this clump of trees here? Yeah, he did. So instead of walling off across here, he's instead chosen to wall off here. Very interesting. Not sure why he's done that. And now he's walled off the entire front of the base. This look at the expenditure of wood that MbL has just made in order to protect himself from the Celtic aggression. Like I said, Celt infantry starting in Feudal do move much faster. And here comes Sitaux with 3 villagers, 4 villagers, an archery range and a tower. Okay. I guess MbL's wall off makes more sense now that we see what Sitaux is doing. And let's see how MbL decides to defend against this. He cannot lose control of this primary berry patch here. My favorite, by the way, are the yellow lemons with the pretty blue butterflies. He's building his own counter tower now, although he's got to be careful. There's not only a tower, but there's 2 melee units trying their darndest to break into his base. An archery range producing archers. Sitaux wants to end this game yesterday. He is coming pedal to the metal here. 4 villagers garrisoned against 4 villagers, although now he's running away. They've got pickaxes in their hand. Is he going to teeth his opponent's stone here? Yes, he does. Early in the game, decides to dump 100 wood into building this mining camp. Larry the Lion decides to make an issue of it. Sitaux wisely takes off 3 villagers, does not want this lion to delay his gathering of stone. These are not Magyar villagers that kill the lion with one fell swoop. Okay, beautiful play here by MbL. Demolishes his own palisade, moves forward with the 4 villagers. Even this one archer, I mean, he could tickle away at the HP of these villagers, but would he have actually killed them? Probably not. But now Sitaux pivots to the, what do we call this? The southeastern portion of MbL's base. MbL very quickly creating a secondary wall off here. And yeah, at this stage in the game, these archers with their 4 range are not going to reach these villagers. Maybe with an upgrade or 2, they'll be able to. But for now, he is, okay, building another house. Still gathering stone. Let's see what he's doing back home. Completely open Sitaux. This is the base of a player who does not expect any kind of counterattack. And the reason he doesn't expect any kind of counterattack is either, number one, he knows who he's playing against, and he knows MbL's style is not a counterattack style. Now, I don't really fancy that explanation, just because players can change their styles at the drop of a hat. An offensive player can play defensive, a defensive player can play offensive. Take a look at their Elos. 2688 for Sitaux, 2638 for MbL. These are not players who are pigeonholed into one play style, so that's not it. More realistically, I think he just plans on putting on the aggression here. And these towers now, MbL is in a little bit of a dangerous situation. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 wood piles. So a good amount of wood piles. 1 has just been rendered useless. So now he's down to 3. He's lost 25% of the possible wood he can gather. And let's see if Sitaux decides to make an issue of it. Let's see what he's actually seen of his opponent's base. He's seen the entire eastern, southern, and western portion. What he hasn't seen is this little nook that MbL has created for himself. Brilliant play here by Sitaux. He's distracting here on the left. These villagers are still mining stone. He's got 66 at the moment. I wonder if he's going to build another tower. I mean, obviously, it sure does seem like it, right? 4 villagers on stone at the 14-15 minute mark of the game. Both players are in Feudal. MbL's army supply is 1, which is his original scout, which got locked out of the base. Although now MbL doing a good job distracting Sitaux with 1 unit, distracting 6 of his opponent's units. MbL, what brilliant game sense here. If you've watched my casts before, you know that I harp a lot, not only on murder holes, but also on the fact that sometimes wall-offs are not that great because of the distance between those wall-offs and villagers. But Sitaux has kind of, I guess, revealed his hand, and MbL preemptively sends 5 villagers, or rather there was 1 villager before. He preemptively sent that 1 villager to build a tower here to defend against any kind of incursion by MbL, by Sitaux rather. And what is Sitaux doing here? Where are his villagers? They're building another tower. Now he's going to try to get rid of MbL's villagers on the gold. Oh, what a brilliant play here by Sitaux. This is why at the beginning of every game I love to look at the position of the resources Are they on a hill? Are they front facing? Are they back facing? I mean, MbL's got to be careful not to run out of wood here, creating secondary and tertiary wall-offs. Although, you know, not terrible. Your market, your blacksmith, these are not exactly powerful units that are going to knock those buildings down anytime soon. Did MbL get blocked in here? Yes, he did. He got Viper gated. And let's see this one villager. Yeah, she gets a kill and takes down the scout cavalry. So MbL's army supply has fallen to literally nothing. Not that he cares. Look at his resources, 500 gold, almost 400 food. He wants to get up to castle. This is the Bohemians. They are not a dark age, feudal age, aggressive civilization, if I can call them that. Although I'm sure they can, in their own way, put on aggression. But definitely you as a Bohemian want to get to castle, because that's where your hand cannoneers come in. That's where your bonuses start coming in. Castles, Hussite wagons, all that good stuff is a castle age boon, a benefit. Sitaux is okay, he's going back to the stone pile. Has enough stone, I think. Should definitely try to lame this wood pile as well, or nullify this wood pile, because if he can get this one, and this one, MbL has basically nowhere else to lumberjack. Although that being said, Sitaux's towers are being taken down. Why is he not repairing this? What does he have back home here that he's so nonchalant about his towers going down? Not much. He is going up to castle on the back of a market and the archery range that he built before. These villagers still gathering stone. Now he's up to 227. Is he just trying to get a castle as fast as he can? We'll take a look. We'll keep an eye out. Meanwhile, 4 archers, a militiaman. Where is your scout? He's all the way back here. Wants to make sure MbL didn't sneak out of his own base, you know, demolish a palisade wall and try to sneak around. In the meantime, Sitaux beats our red Bohemian to castle by a full minute and a half. Let's see what the hell he can do with this advantage. What he does is plops not only 1, but 2 town centers. Love the location of this one. Stone, wood, lots of space for farms. Oh, just as good a location. Golds, wood, lots of room for farms. Okay, so our blue Celt wants to boom a little bit. He knows his opponent isn't in castle age yet. He knows he's got a bit of a time advantage, it seems like. And so while he's continuing to gather stone here, that explains why he didn't repair his tower to the southeast. But okay, all aggression is kind of stopped here. He got 2 kills, 1 scout and 1 villager, and that's basically it. This is a nice little attack here to deny his opponent vision. Immediately gets to castle, immediately puts up a town center. A 4th town center going down for Sitaux. He really wants to boom. Right next to the gold. Beautiful. I love the location of this one. Not only is there a mining camp here so you can attack the gold from multiple angles, a 3rd town center going down for MbL as well. Okay, so both players are happy to just kind of sit back, laugh at this one little militiaman who's trying to really trying his hardest, ladies and gentlemen, to break into this base with his massive 4 attack. We'll see if he does. Even if he does, will he manage to do anything at all with that tiny little attack? And I had really high hopes here for Sitaux. I thought he was going to continue building towers, because if he could lame... Now, I don't know if that's the appropriate word. I leave it to people who have more experience in these matters. But if he builds a tower here and stops MbL from lumberjacking, is that technically called laming? Or is laming only when you surround the resource with your own wall, your own barricade to deny your opponent access? Or can you deny it access with a tower? I don't know. In any event, a castle going down on the high ground, that'll definitely get rid of that tower. And with that tower, all of Sitaux's aggression will fall. Beautiful secondary wall off here by MbL. And what is Sitaux doing? He has 2 monks out on the map. No doubt to collect relics. Yep, he's already got 1. Let's see if we can find where these very slow moving blue dots are. Now, one thing I will say about our... Oh, what did he get here? That looked like Sanctity for MbL. Does he have any monks out? We'll take a look. If they come out with more HP, we'll know that that was Sanctity. I think it was. It was that that Holy Grail Chalice, right? In any event, what I was about to say, take a look at the mini-map and take a look at MbL, his vision. I'm going to put us onto his vision. He sees nothing. He is completely constricted in his base. Although, here we go, the Hussite wagon. Look at this thing. My God, imagine. This is why it's called a mobile wall. Just look at it. Imagine having units behind it, tanking less damage. Are you at 45 HP? You are at 45 HP. Yes, that was Sanctity. And what are the players building here? Okay, 1 relic to 0 at this point, although where is that slow-moving blue dot? It's going to be 2. I think I saw another slow-moving. Yeah, there it is, 3. So but because he's out on the map, because he's aggressive, because he's the one containing his opponent, Sitaux is very easily able to get these relics. He sends out his monks. He does not need to defend them with any kind of spearmen, any kind of infantry, archers, scout, light cav, anything. Because there's nothing to defend them against, except 3 very slow-moving Hussite wagons. What is their accuracy? 85, not terrible. But like I said, if there's any civilization whose ranged units, except for archers, because again, I think the I think the Celtic archery line is just it's terrible. I generally don't like to say things like terrible, but I think it is terrible. So they can't really rely on those ranged units, I think, to handle anything that the Bohemians throw at them. But if ever there was a civ whose ranged siege units can handle it, it's the Celts. And now he's coming out with knights as well, so should be able to push back these Hussite wagons. I wonder why they're not at least even stopping to take a shot. Ugh, what a death animation. Just a complete collapse here. Very middle of the road castle for our blue Celt. I love the location. King of the hill. Just has to make sure that his opponent doesn't take this hill. Otherwise, he will have the high ground advantage. But do you see any red on the mini-map? No, it's all stuck in here, although it does lose 2 mangonels. Chemistry upgrade going down for our Bohemian player, not a surprise. Another town center, so a 4th town center to compete with the 4 of the Celts. And now, in an interesting turn of events, it's the Bohemians pushing out with the siege against a Celt pushing out with I was gonna say archers, but not anymore. No, that's it. There's 1 archer left on the map somewhere. MbL, though, has to be careful. These are not cheap units, the Hussite wagons. He can't afford to just throw them away against mangonels. That's 110 wood, 70 gold every time, 180 resources per Hussite wagon. And here we go. It's Castle Age. The Bohemians have hand cannoneers. So this is exactly what I wanted to see. Christmas came early, or rather a little bit late at this stage of the year. Oh, tries a cheeky attack round, does not manage to get it. And now our Celt is going up to Imperial with a 2nd middle of the road, kind of defensive, kind of not castle. Also not a bad location. I mean, there's some high ground here, but can the Trebs even reach there? These are not Tatar Trebs with the extra range. And this high ground, even if his opponent tries to take it, is within range of this castle. A 3rd castle going down for our Celt. Did he get the memo that he's Celts and not Franks? I guess that's why he has 17 on stone, 18 on gold. But here we go. Redemption being researched. For those who don't know what redemption means, it means the Bohemian monks, oh God, can now convert all Celtic siege units. So this is going to be a lot of fun. This is basically the Bohemians being played as they're supposed to be played. You've got your hand cannoneers in castle. You've got your Hussite wagons in front to tank against any kind of ranged units. In this case, I guess it would be the castle. Not that he's going to engage into a castle with this army. This is not a castle attacking army by any means of the imagination, by any stretch of the imagination. And you've got your monks. Now, no Hussite reforms just yet. And if, sorry, that's the upgrade that converts monks into basically trash units by making them cost food instead of gold. And finally, MbL is heading up to Imperial, but he is very far behind. Oh god, another lion tries to make an issue with these villagers, but these are loomed up villagers. They are not going to die to a lion. And lots of blue dots moving forward. Woad Raiders, conscription, yes. Onager upgrade being researched for our Celt. We're going to get to see some juicy onagers fire juicy clumps of rocks against hand cannoneers and monks. Now remember, these monks can convert these siege units, so these siege units have to be very careful. For now, a very aggressive castle, by the way, reveals itself immediately. So now red knows exactly where this castle is. Another one going down. I mean, elite Woad Raider upgrade being researched. Red is still not an Imperial. But the question is, does he actually have to be? I mean, his gunpowder units are out now. He's going up to 20 hand cannoneers, Hussite wagons. He's got his own mangonel out. Yeah. Hand cannoneer versus Celtic onager. You are not going to win as the hand cannoneer. Here come the Woad Raiders. Are they going to be able to snipe these monks? Oh god, uses the monks to bait the Woad Raiders into a shit ton of hand cannoneers. Oh my god, 5 monks inside this town center. MbL playing, like I said, the Bohemians exactly the way the developers wanted them to be played. Gunpowder, and monks. The only thing missing here is spearman line units, but Sitaux is not going cavalry, so no need for those at all. 31 hand cannoneers. What does our blue Celt have to respond to? Onagers and 20 Woad Raiders, which are now elite. More upgrades. Block printing going down for our red Bohemian, so these monks are going to have +3 range very soon, and they will very much outrange these onagers who take a juicy shot and kill a bunch of civilians here. This castle has to be stopped. It's at 80. Okay, yeah, he got the villager right as I said that. And now Celtic Trebs are making their way into the center, the ooey gooey center of Red's base. Red is focused very much on taking this castle down, so much so that he loses his own town center, not defending it. Now these monks, take a look at their range. 12 range. Sitaux, why are you throwing away Woad Raiders? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, are we gonna see? No, lucky for Sitaux to escape, but the sniper lines come back. No, never mind. They retarget against Woad Raiders. This castle ended up going up. Oh, gets a convert on 2 Woad Raiders. Very cute. For free, he kills 3 of his opponent's army supply for literally nothing but a little bit of spell casting faith. Loses his monastery. It is now 5 relics to 0, by the way. Oh, we're hearing the Wololos. Oh my god, he gets a convert on one of these onagers, immediately pays the price. What a fantastic way to decimate your opponent's army, to say, hey, I see these big, crazy, powerful attack units. Why don't I just make them mine? In the meantime, Woad Raiders coming in here. They are going to demolish these houses very fast. These are elites with a +2. But I want to come back to the center of action here, this theater of war in the middle of the map. Very inaccurate Treb is definitely not going to get these bombard cannons. And did he? Oh, and he's in. Sitaux is inside his base. We'll keep an eye on that with a picture-in-picture. In the meantime, I don't want to lose focus here. Anytime you have Bohemian monks with block printing, 12 range, you do not want to leave that action behind. This castle is now not long for this world, with 5 bombard cannons going down to attack it. Oh my god. Gets one, gets both. And that's it. No more siege for Mr. Sitaux. No more siege for our Celt player. Although, if these were blue, can you imagine this big clump of hand cannons? Sitaux wisely decides to go after these onagers. You cannot leave these in your opponent's hands. That is not good. Now back to this action. Wow, these Woad Raiders, how many kills have they gotten? 25 kills for these Woad Raiders. They are doing exactly this. This is an amazing game. This is showcasing. Where are you guys going? Oh, 2 monks in the middle of nowhere, way out of position. Lumber camp, interesting. This game, as I was about to say, is a beautiful example of how these two civs should be played. Very fast Celtic units. These Woad Raiders can demolish structures. Now, I'm not too sure about throwing them into a bunch of hand cannons, though. How many do we have here? 29 hand cannons. Oh my god, is he going to get another convert? He does not, no. And now all those Woad Raiders are done. I mean, the raiding in the back is fantastic. Whatever's left of this brigade now has 21 kills to their name, 21 notches on their belt, and he is doubling down on Woad Raiders. He wants to swarm his opponent. He's got 130 villagers, which means he can produce a shit ton of Woad Raiders. Take a look at his resources. He is sitting at a huge amount of resources. Needs to up his food, though. But with 57 villagers, it's only a matter of time. And in they come again. Oh my god, Suicide Squad much? Oh god, what a waste of Woad Raiders. But at the same time, he is attacking in the back. Was this a distraction? I don't know. It's a freaking expensive distraction, although he's continuing to build them. Woad Raiders not... Bombard cannons attacking ground here. Woad Raiders are not the most expensive units. They're 65 food, 25 gold. Just a little bit more than champions without supplies. So not exactly the most expensive unit in the game, which means they can easily be spammed. And now he retreats from the base here with this little clump. So now we're back to the main engage here. And Sitaux has to be careful. I mean, look at him. He's building 43 elite Woad Raiders. You cannot keep throwing 2 here, 3 there. Amazing. Onagers. 3 onagers. Might want a few more, though. Definitely want against 8 monks. And MbL is going to see these onagers. He's going to take a few shots to the face. Ugh, friendly fire. And now look at this. Oh my god. He is engaging in the front. But behind this, MbL has been knocked down to 86 villagers. Does Sitaux... Oh, he gets a few monks here. Beautiful shots. Will he convert this? 3 monks trying to convert. Deletes his own unit. Strengthening his buildings with masonry is our blue Celt. I was going to say, does he care that he's throwing these units away? Take a look at the... Oh my god, the villager massacre. He's down to 60 villagers, MbL. Wow. You know, I was wondering why Sitaux just keeps throwing clumps of 30 or so Woad Raiders. First of all, he's got the gold to build, what is this, 190 Woad Raiders if he wanted to. Not that he has the supply room for them. But in they come again. This one I'm not too sure about because there's no raiding anywhere else on the map. This is just a pure throwing away of Woad Raiders. 27 hand cannoneers left, 66 kills on them though. But the question is, did Sitaux do enough damage? I mean, take a look at the villager count for MbL 54. There's always a number of factors, you know, when you're playing any kind of real-time strategy, any RTS game. Not only do you have to consider the power of your army, the quantity, the quality, what kind of unit composition, but remaxability. If you were to lose this entire army, or rather if MbL was to lose this entire army, how quickly could he remax? Not that he's max, he's a 91 supply. Horrible. Oh god. Oh god, this might just be GG. The question is, not only is how powerful etc is your army, but if you lose it, how quickly can you replenish your army supply? And with what? Oh god. Takes another shot to the face. Another one. Oh my god. He literally blue-balled us. He literally blue-balled us. Look at this. He's blue. He's firing balls of stone, otherwise known as rocks. They were right about to land. They were right about to kill a shit ton of hand cannoneers, and he stops a fraction of a second. Oh, MbL. MbL, you couldn't GG in like a third of a second. You had to do it now. Oh, blue-balled us. Okay, anyway, that's gross. Sorry. I'm not surprised. As I was saying, you know, once this army goes down, once he loses these hand cannoneers, look at his resources. He's got sub 500 wood, 600 food, 500 gold, and he's got 53 villagers. So I now understand, I think, I mean, as much as one can really like understand without strapping one of these players into one of these futuristic machines with a bunch of nodes on their heads and trying to figure out brain waves and get into their heads. But all of these units that were thrown away here in the center were done, number one, I think, to keep MbL from being able to defend his villagers. MbL going for the powerful, tanky gunpowder army. But like I said in the beginning, these units are not only expensive, but they're slow. Even with the upgrade that makes them move 15% faster, which I'm not sure if he got. I don't think correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see Wagenberg being researched. Let's take a look at their speed. Yeah, they're at a 0.96. I don't think it was researched. So how the hell are you going to defend your back, your side, all of this against Woad Raiders moving on a 1.38, basically a 1.4 to your 1? You're never going to do that. And these Woad Raiders, by the way, attack on a 17, and they attack fast. 2-second attacks. They're like a champion, like a berserker. They attack very fast. And so Sitaux just kept throwing units at MbL, trying to distract him. I mean, I wonder if he even didn't care to lose any onagers, because even if he lost an onager, what that means is MbL had to micro his heart out to avoid taking an onager shot to the face. And while he's microing here in the center, Sitaux just, right clicks his Woad Raiders and then right clicks them again and attack moves them into his opponent, who's now sitting at a third of the villager count. And like I said, yes, overall, I think MbL had the more powerful army in terms of damage output. I mean, any hand cannoneers against any kind of infantry, especially in choke points like this, you generally give it to the hand cannoneers. Although the presence of the onager does complicate that equation a little bit, but in any event, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, you cannot ignore the back of your base, which is exactly what Sitaux forced MbL to do. And because he was ignoring it, I mean, he did manage to get a castle up earlier in the game, remember here. And it kind of does provide a radius of defense, but not against the back here. I mean, do you think a Woad Raider gives a shit about this one tower? Absolutely not, especially being used the way Sitaux was using them, which is exactly the way you're supposed to use Woad Raiders. Fast, they literally have the name Raider, the word Raider in their name. So both players playing really, really well into the strong suit of their civilizations here. What a fun game. MbL showing us the power of Castle Age hand cannoneers from Bohemians. Sitaux showing us the power of an incredibly fast Celtic raiding army backed by onagers. And even though MbL lost, even though Sitaux lost a bunch of these onagers and all the gold and resources and time to produce them to those monks, which, by the way, how cool was that? That was incredibly cool to see those monks convert the onagers with their +3 range. Ultimately, though, all of this raiding, all of this distraction gutted his economy. And so take a look at the resources for Sitaux. He knew that this was the right moment to pounce. He had thousands of resources a minute ago, or a few minutes ago. Now he's down to this. So no more gold, although with 5 relics, I definitely do want to take a look at the economy and see how much gold that gave him. An extra 3,000 gold to build your unique unit, which, like I said, costs 25 gold. I mean, how much is that? That's 120 something. Is my math at all correct? Yeah, 25 times 100 is 2,500 plus another 660. That's how I do math, by the way, like a school child. So yeah, it's about 120 Woad Raiders that he could build once he gets the food. And with 80 villagers on food, he's going to get the food. So that gold, that relic gold, really did help him out. 264 Woad Raiders. Unfortunately, most of those paid with their lives. 89 hand cannoneers, of which 18 still remained in the game with 36 kills to their name. Micro here, I would say a fairly relaxed game for both players. 140 for our red Bohemian, 125 for Sitaux. Kill count also fairly equal, although let's dive into the numbers because I think that's a little bit misleading. Take a look at how many villagers Sitaux killed, 124. That means that he really only killed 116 army supply of his opponent, who killed double that. 257 minus 24, whatever that is basically double the 116 that Sitaux killed. Wow, yeah, that's the power of ranged units, as powerful as the hand cannoneer. And ultimately, though, this 124 in the bottom right of your screen, this is what killed the game for MbL. He lost way too many villagers. He's got enough food to produce 11 villagers. And if he does that, by the way, he can't produce anything else because all of his food is going to villagers. How many farmers does he have? 16 here. 13 here, way not enough, way too few. Way too few. So what an incredible, oh god, and there's reinforcements being pumped out. 42 Woad Raiders. I mean, what a fun game. I said that literally 2 minutes ago, but I am going to repeat it. What an incredibly fun game. If you want a clear example of how to use the Bohemians, and if you want a clear example of how to use the Celts, I think this is a primo example of a game you should watch. Not only because, again, take a look at their Elos. These are two incredibly powerful players, incredibly high Elos, but ultimately Sitaux just guts his opponent's economy to the point where his opponent cannot afford the expensive gunpowder units, even with all the bonuses, even with all the villagers, which, by the way, remember, they get all the monk benefits of the extra HP as well. So that's why they're at 55 HP to the 40 of the Celtic villagers. But overall, I mean, Sitaux guts MbL's economy. MbL cannot replenish his army, and Sitaux takes the big W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.